Thank you, Todd. Good afternoon, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the chance given to us to present the PCP Ethiopia's experience. Before I do so, let me give a little bit about the picture of the country. Ethiopia is aspiring to become a middle-income country by 2025. It's not only we are aspiring to become a middle-income country, but also we want to become a leading nation in light manufacturing in Africa by the same period. And we want to continue the double-digit growth which we are now registering in the past decades. And for that, we have a specific target set. Industry currently, it contributes about 14% to GDP, and we want to double this by 2025, bringing to 28%. Manufacturing from its current low level of 5%, we want to bring it to 18% by the same period, which is in effect, we want to quadruple it. Of course, the country is an agrarian country. We want to go into structural transformation from agriculture towards industry. That means agro-processing. For that, the country has an industrial development strategy, which was going on quite for some time. And in that, we have stipulated priority sectors like agro-processing, leather and textile. And we have developed also a manufacturing roadmap for the 13 years detail. And currently, we are launching the second 5-year plan of the country, which we call it GDP, Growth and Transformation Plan 2. In the midst of this, the PCP is launched, and the country has selected as a pilot country. In fact, for the last for the last year, I think a lot of things are going on, and we have, including today, 4 ISD PCP forums. I want to draw your attention maybe on 2 of the ISID forums, in which, in the second one, Ethiopia is selected as a pilot, and our Prime Minister, Mr. Hailemariam, was here, to endorse this and to express his commitment. And in fact, the ISID Forum 3, which was held on the side event on finance for development in last July in Addis Ababa, was also another testimony where we also express our commitment. And of course, UNIDO also present, from the headquarters, its commitment. And when we see the PCP implementation roadmap in Ethiopia, first of all, I would like to express that the government of Ethiopia is on the forefront owning the program, and it has incorporated fully into the national economic development of the country, especially in the GDP2. In effect, we have fully embraced this PCP, and so far in the roadmap, we have broadly 3 phases: the preparatory phase and the promotional phase, as well as going ahead with the implementation. And in the preparatory phase, we have established a governance and management structure for PCP. And in this regard, we have a steering committee composed of sectoral ministries, developmental partners like African Development Bank, World Bank, and other developmental partners, financial institutions, and the private sector. 2 basic mandates of this governance and management structure is, number 1, to mobilize resource for the implementation of the PCP. Secondly, to promote what is in this PCP to investors. So in the promotional aspect, we have done a lot of things. In fact, in the ISD forums, including this one, and most notably, we have promoted to COMESA countries. As you remember, even though Ethiopia is selected as a pilot country, we have also the second responsibility to share with other African countries, our experience in this regard. At the COMESA market, as the COMESA forum, together with UNIDO and His Excellency Director General Mr. Lee Yong, we have promoted this PCP. Of course, last week also, on the event of African Industrialization Day, we did the same, especially by presenting different papers on industrial parks. Side by side, internationally, we have done it in different countries like China, Italy, and so on. So in this process, most of the developmental partners, they have reaffirmed their commitment to work in the realization, successful realization of PCP. PCP has 4 components. Let me go very quickly. The first one is in the agro-food sector, agro-processing. And in this regard, we have developed a master plan for the development for the establishment of integrated agro-industry park. This is a feasibility study. And for the study, we have mobilized resources from different partners, notably from UNIDO, FAO, UNDP, and the Italian government. In this gathering, I want to recognize in front of you for the support made from these organizations. In the study, the country has been divided into 17 agro-industry corridors. And these corridors are identified based on their agricultural endowments, resource, and of course other infrastructures as well. And out of these 17 corridors, with the study we have selected 4 top-ranking corridors, and out of these corridors we have selected specific location for the establishment of integrated agro-industry parks. Next. As you can see, this is the aerial view of one of the selected parks, and a detailed technical and engineering estimate has been done for these 4 parks. As you can see, the zoning and the other estimation as well. Next. What is interesting about this integrated agro-industry park, it has primarily 2 components. The cluster of industries where are going to be located, the main park, as well as there are feeders also to this park, what we call them rural transformation centers. Next. So that for the rural transformation center, we have primary processing centers, which we call them the RTCs, and each RTCs are going to be located on 10 hectares, and on a satellite for each park, there are 7 or 8 these RTCs on average. Next. So what are the outcomes of this feasibility study, which is the most important thing? There are 2 facts. One is the huge resource, what it requires for this park, as well as there is huge opportunity at the same time. Large investment is required to set up and operationalize these parks to the estimate of 1.5 billion USD for the 4 parks, as well as for infrastructure to the tune of $870 million. Of course, when we see the opportunities, they are going to host more than 400 companies and also generate massive job opportunities, more than 400,000 only direct employment. In fact, if you see the value chain, it will generate more than that, you know. It will impact millions of farmers, you know. This calls for significant involvement of private sectors, developmental and financial institutions. Next. So to implement these parks, we feel that we need a policy document, and in this policy document, it is about the raising of the resource, about the incentives, initial setups, and the other things that has to be decided. And this policy document, the draft one, is developed, and very soon it is going to be endorsed by federal and regional governments. Next. Besides this, PCP has a second component in the laser sector, and in here we are now also developing a feasibility study for the establishment of laser cities, where the tanneries are going to be on a cluster base and communal facilities. Next. Of course, the other third area of PCP is the textile and apparel sector. In here also we are doing a lot of job. We have identified investment projects with UNIDO for promotion in the sector. The 4th component is cross-sectoral, and in here we have training and institutional capacity building, trade facilitation, and the environment, and mostly these are for ongoing projects. So going forward, what are the top focus? The top focus will be First of all, implementation of the 4 integrated agro-industry parks on the ground. That means we need to mobilize resources for the construction of these parks, as well as we need to mobilize the investors, the tenants, future tenants to these parks. And for that, now we are preparing an international investment forum in May next 2016 under the theme of Unleashing Ethiopia's Investment Potential. That is the first international agro-industry investment forum. Next, please. So the objective of this forum will be two-pronged, as I mentioned it, to mobilize resources, as well as to promote to investors. Next. So we have a roadmap for this upcoming event in May, and in that process, so far we have completed the preparatory phase, and now we are promoting it, and in coming May, we are going to organize this forum. And in this occasion, I would like to call upon all you to come and take part in this forum. So, in conclusion, we have 3 most important things. Number 1, that is the implementation of the integrated agro-industry park and approval of the policy document so that to go into the implementation. Secondly, we need huge resource and we need investors, domestic and foreign direct investments to come to the park. And for that, the upcoming investment forum is a top agenda. Of course, the resource mobilization from bilateral, multilateral, and from all sources is also a key agenda in going forward. I thank you for your kind attention.